Fear is common to many. When the storm's raging outside, fear grips us. If there is a lightning or a thunder, fear grips us. If the winds are heavy, we get scared, right? Some of us are scared or fearful of our tomorrow. We are fearful of the uncertain times we are living in. We are fearful whether the job that we have would be enough to sustain us, to help us clear our debt. So many fears that people live in. What about that fear of that sickness, that if I get it, what will happen to me? But I want to encourage you that God tells you, do not be afraid. When we look to Isaiah chapter 41 verse 10, it reads, do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be afraid, for I am your God. Do not fear, God is saying. The word fear comes from the word yore, which means dread. Don't live in dread. Don't live with that fear of tomorrow. You know, some of us don't live today because we are living in the dread of tomorrow, the dread of sickness, the dread of that loan. We are so afraid. But God is saying, do not be afraid, do not be fearful. Why? The first thing He says is, for I am with you. God is assuring us of His presence. Do you know that if God is with us, that we can overcome anything and everything, that we are more than conquerors? Look at the people of Israel when they were traveling out from Egypt into the promised land. It was the presence of God with them that made the difference. They could experience the Red Sea parting because of God's presence. They saw manna from heaven was because of God's presence, God with them. They saw water coming from the rocks because God was with them. So what God is saying is, don't be afraid. Why? I am with you. I think that's the most comforting word that you and I can ever get, knowing that God is with you, that we can overcome no matter what the crisis, we can overcome, for He is with us. The next thing He says is, do not be afraid, for I am your God. Now when God is saying I am your God, that means know me for who I am. Know me for who I am. And when we begin to think of who our God is, God begins to reveal Himself to Moses as I am that I am. Come on, when you begin to realize that your God is the great I am, that means everything that you need, everything that you long for is found in God. And that God is not just someone who will satisfy you, but He's also someone who will never fail you, never forsake you. He's your provider, He's your healer. Come on, isn't that awesome? When you know who your God is, fear will not take over you. Fear will not grip you. Yes, thoughts may come, but it will go. Why? Because of the assurance that you have within you of who your God is. Let me ask you a question today. Do you know who your God is? And do you have that assurance that, yes, I know that I know that I know He is with me? Well, if you know that He is with you, and if you know who He is, fear has no room in your life. It may come, but it has to go, because He that is in you is greater than he that is in the world. And He that is with you, who's abiding in you, who's walking with you, is the one who will help you overcome everything that seems to be distressing you, that seems to be telling you you need to be afraid. But God with you makes all the difference. Remember, do not be afraid, for He is with you and He is your God. God bless you.